we dare to say how lucky you are. But of course, there's no such thing as luck. To be here in this space has required so much work, so much self-reflection, so much personal responsibility. It's unfathomable. It's time to unpack the rucksack and allow ourselves to be present with the confidence of knowing that everything that we need, everything that we require is right here. It's inside. It's been here all the time. It's just that we haven't been in the space energetically to access this reserve of abundant resources. However, once again, we are back. Take a deep breath, beloved. Welcome to Sunday Stillness, the celebration of that which has always been sacred within the one heart space that we all share, our connection, our knowing. Everything takes a back seat to the core of our being, our presence, the decisions that we make, our frequency of being in this now moment. All of those things take a back seat to our presence. We're not dependent on things externally. And of course, the mind has a habit of attempting to cling to things that it can observe physically, to predict and attempt to protect the self from more presence. It's not necessary to get caught up in the details of what is and the cycles of energy that revolve. Of course, they can be very helpful. They're tools of our expansion, but it's not the foundation. It's not the base of everything that takes place in our lives. If we're too much here, we can receive certain information and get caught up in the over-analysis of what, or human understanding of the energies that the stars provide, the planetary bodies, the celestial bodies, and our sphere of influence are presenting to us. This is where the anticipation and the gloom, or this intense anxiety, comes from these projections. Now, let's get to this retrograde thing. It's an unpredictable energy. It reveals. This energy is a loose, unpredictable energy. It's a very flowing, creative energy that destabilizes what we consider to be predictable. This is the perfect energy that's calling you to go with the flow. Subconsciously, many are programmed to feel that when things are spontaneous and unpredictable, that there's somehow negative or takes on a negative connotation. Love has never been logical, or at least logical from the limitations of which we understand logic to work. There's a bigger picture. So of course, what's logical for us is not logical to the bigger picture. It makes sense, it's just that you lack the information to recognize the other piece of the puzzle. Presence is your greatest friend. The heart space is the safest place you can exist in. Just to be here and be present. Of course, take care of your responsibilities. If you're being guided in a particular direction as far as organizing things, and you have a list of things that you need to do, by all means embrace that. But be present and recognize that there's always more ways to achieve an end. But of course, we have to be present to recognize that. We have to go to the flow, go with the flow to recognize those possibilities, and not be in this space of expectancy and anxiety because we're attempting to seek out all the clues and place ourselves in the best position in order to try to fix life in a way in which we feel is the smoothest. Our experience is already an infinitely intelligent design that's beyond our current level of comprehension. It's already that. Know that predictability, insurance, security, and stability. These ideas are rooted in fear, beloved. The mind and its activity, it wishes for us to safely arrive to our deathbed. Here's what we have to understand about routine if we haven't already recognized that. This is the driving force behind what we consider to be boredom. Of course, we want to be able to pay our rent every month and the lights to stay on. We don't, you know what I mean? This consistency and predictability is something that brings us a certain level of comfort, great comfort. It's just one thing about that is if life were just that, it'd be boring. It feels good to the logical mind because we feel safe. We know what to expect. In reality, that's what's being sold amongst humanity right now. If we can guarantee life in this box for you, will you give us all of your free will and allow us to control the interactions of your life? The heart is not like that. The heart doesn't desire predictability. Now, there's a knowing that life in itself is intelligent, and we are manifestations of the all, where by default, we're safe. That's why they say the fearless are defenseless. Fearless souls, conscious souls of their presence as the creator are defenseless. They aren't preparing for what they don't want. There are no plan Bs. Not preparing for the worst case scenario. Because regardless of what happens, there's a deep sense of trust in who I am as the creator. There's courage. There's knowing that I'm responsible for everything that's taking place. And even if a calamity unfolds, I'm aware that I have everything that I need before me in any given moment to move forward. I always have everything I need to move forward in this now moment. And whatever's taking place is for my greatest benefit. It's assisting me in unfolding that which I've intended to experience here on the planet. Everything. I'm always safe. I'm always safe because life is intelligent and I am infinite intelligent manifest. Life is happening for me. So what the mind intends, the small mind, the ego mind, its plans has everything to do with mediocrity, boredom, predictability, security. It's the logical aspect of our being. It wants things to work based on its level of understanding. It wants everyone to be safe based on its level of understanding. Here sees the whole picture. Here's the source of it all. They work together, the mind and the heart. The more we heal, the more of a harmonious relationship, an integrated relationship that we'll have with mind and heart. At the core of our being, we intend to enjoy. Enjoy the present, the adventure, the unpredictable, the zest of existence. To fully be present and allow for our creativity to flourish, to receive a curveball every now and then, to allow our emotional body to expand, for our understanding to expand, our perspective to expand through receiving a knuckleball every now and then. We're developing emotional dexterity, our creativity. So once again, in this space of being present and allowing ourselves to receive and be open to the unknown, to the unpredictable, know that this is the space that caters to your greatest evolution. This is where you grow. This is where you experience the emotional gymnasium. Through receiving all of these unexpected experiences. Now, of course, with this process, you're not going to be overloaded. It's not going to be unexpected thing after unexpected thing. You're going to have some normalcy and some stability and some conventionality in your life, which will bring you a sense of grounded presence. You can heal yourself and recover from whatever curveball you receive or something that caught you off guard before. You'll be able to calm yourself and relax your energy. But of course, there's more. And we intend to evolve. We intend to expand. Not only the faculties of logic, but of course, the faculty of creativity within the heart space. Witty, crafty, clever, through this dexterity, through experiencing these things that seem so unpredictable. It's like, how come life just can't be normal and things work out the way you're being groomed to be more present, beloved, to be able to access all of these faculties within you and truly enjoy the nature of the movie, your creation, the great adventure, the colorful life of joy and love and expansion. We naturally have a deep trust in the universe, beloved. Now, here we don't. When we're in our head, we ask a bunch of questions and more questions and more questions. We're unsure what's going to happen, and this is where we have anxiety, and we're creating all these projections, and we're attempting to analyze, we're collecting data and trying to figure things out and figure out what's going to happen so we can be prepared to protect ourselves from our own experience, from life. This is no way to live. This is walking around on a sunny day with a raincoat on, attempting to protect yourself from your own experience instead of enjoying the sunshine, opening your heart and letting down your guard like you know you God, like you know you're in the game. This is to live in bondage, constantly walking around protecting yourself from your own existence, from your own creation, from your own experience, from your own reflections. Everybody, insurance, and I got my gun right here because this person don't know them people and I don't trust nobody and such as that. These are all programs. These are signs and expressions of one's own personal bondage. This is the language of a soul who's restricted themselves to limitation. They're in a personal jail of their own creation, and it comes out in their language, in the way they speak to themselves, and the blockages and limitations they've set up for themselves, all to protect themselves, security over freedom. They choose to try to be as secure as possible versus living the life that they've created for themselves. It's all about being safe. It's the responsible thing to do. Safety, safety, safety. I gotta make sure I'm still here. And your life end up getting consumed with setting up all these walls and barriers for yourself just to remain comfortable. That's programming, beloved. It's programming. Now, the nature of our talks, we call this a meditation class. And I say quote unquote meditation class because when you hear that, you assume that there's instruction and someone telling you to breathe in and breathe out, sit with me, and the conventional nature of meditation. And I've done that. It's just that within this space, it's not about teaching you how to be still or how to breathe or how to not think. You're supposed to think. You're going to think when you sit down and be still. It's an aspect of the process. It's just that coming to this space of awareness of all that we're experiencing allows us to actually sit down and get out of the way of the natural functioning of the human body when we're consciously choosing to be still. Give yourself the opportunity to be inspired, to experience life from a new perspective. For the unknown, try to see things differently as life unfolds. The disappointments and lack or limitations that present themselves based on our expectations. Allow yourself to be in that space and accept what's taking place and observe life from this new perspective. It's possible something that you wanted was not for you. Allow yourself to be in that space and experience that new perspective. Our ego desires things that we feel we want, but in actuality, our heart knows what we truly want. Our heart knows better. It knows us more. It knows what will bring us a greater joy. We aren't open to that space if we're so rigid about what it is that we want to experience or what we want. Our expectations, I want this, and because that's taken, then life sucks. There's something greater for you. You allow life to present that to you when you're open, when you're present, and you're beyond these expectations, beyond this anxiety. attempting to force things. So the events, right, that are often surrounded with disappointment, lack, limitation, sometimes even trauma. Right? Some of us like to call some of these things or label them dark nights of the soul. We reach experiences on our journey that cater to disappointment. Sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it's lack. Sometimes it's what we didn't expect. We expected more. Somebody disappoints us. Or sometimes we're betrayed. Or there's deception involved. The job didn't come through. You didn't get the loan. Or such and such will let you borrow some money. Or whatever. We reach these points. You know what we call those points? We call them expansion points, beloved. It's rock bottom. Frustrated. When we get hurt, we start projecting. Right? Oh, well, nobody's supporting me. Because we're a little bit defensive. There's nothing wrong with that. It happens. Our feelings get hurt sometimes. A lot of times. Why? Come on, we're healing. And of course, as we consciously realize that these projections, these judgmental projections, a lot of times they're the byproduct of internal insecurity by the individuals. The soul's internal pain is attempting to project pain on you so they can show you how they feel or express their disapproval of your actions or their lack of understanding of what you're talking about. They don't understand what you're talking about and all this stuff, so of course they're gonna make you look crazy, make little jokes and say stuff and whatever. That's how it works. That's how insecurity works. This is required so you can continue to cultivate your own sense of confidence, your own sense of personal responsibility. To go first requires strength, it requires confidence, it requires self-belief. Like, you actually have to believe in yourself. You have to love yourself for being different. These are the things that we experience when we're in an expansion point, when it's time to expand, when we're about to elevate to a new level. We feel like we're isolated, not supported by those around us, and nobody believes in us, and we drained emotionally. We were at a high point before when we had all the support around us, and we were admired by people, and we received acceptance, and so on and so forth from people around us. So when all that's taken away, we'll experience an emotional low and feel we're back against the corner, back against the wall. Nobody wants to support you. Of course, this is an illusion, but that's how we feel. This is a sacred space, beloved. This is a most sacred space. There's no place to go but up when you're in this space. There's no place to go but up when you're in this space. Springboard experiences that grant us access to higher heights in frequency and perspective. But after we finish purging and allowing ourselves to experience those emotions, we always return to a space of peace. And listening to sad songs and kicking around rocks and putting our hands in our pockets, we'll always come back to a place of clarity. So when we all cried out, and then we start to get the dirt off our shoulders and shake ourselves off a little bit, we always return to this space. This is the frequency of acceptance. When we come to this space, acceptance is an absolutely magical frequency to be in, beloved. It's a doorway. It allows us into a whole new reality, a whole new experience, an absolute brand new dimension. Once again, it's called an expansion point. This is where we smile brighter. This is where we love deeper. And we start to put some pep back into our step. And we recognize there's more possibilities for me. This is the clarity you establish post expansion point. Within the depths of despair, we feel as if we don't have any support. The exact opposite is absolute truth. In this space, you have the greatest support you can ask for. The most efficient and effective support that you can request as a being. You have the support of the heavens. You stand on the side of truth. You stand on the side of yourself. You've accessed a deeper level of self-love. When this comes into play, guess what? You have God's support. This is the greatest support you can ever have, that will assist you in realizing, I'm going to take a church phrase, how highly favored you are. This is where who we are, the angelic realms, get to step in and show you the magical nature, the powerful nature of infinite intelligence based on your humility and level of acceptance, the vow of confidence and you trusting yourself. Based on the gesture of you trusting yourself, a magical reality is available for you when you consciously embrace this space. Trust your feelings. Allow yourself to feel the emotions. Allow them to stay there as long as you want. But the more mature you become, the faster you get up and brush yourself off and you move forward. Self-acceptance. We're attempting to achieve a certain level of self-acceptance through the dependency on outer approval, on the illusion to show us how good we are, how worthy we are. Through our experiences, through that which we provide, and we continuously judge ourselves based on the receptivity or the response that we receive from the external world. This is dependency, beloved. And of course, with dependency, you're susceptible to emotional manipulation, because the same person that you depend on to say good job and oh that this is nice and I like this, I like that, they can take away the same emotional content by disapproving what it is that you do. And then guess what? You're gonna start tap dancing, attempting to get their or regain their confidence or their approval, their stamp of acceptance once again, because they've taken away that which has fed you, which has sustained you. Seeking outer attention and approval, this is the energy of what you call selling out, conformity. And that's not courageous. We're here to be ourselves. We are the approving authority. It's about us. Do I approve? Am I enjoying that which I'm doing, which I've created? So of course, if I'm seeking approval from other people and I want a broader audience, I want more people to like me or tune in to whatever it is I'm doing, I'm selling out my own joy. I'm selling myself short because I'm seeking to make other people happy when in actuality, my happiness is the most important. It's the foundation of all the happiness that's experienced by souls around me. My happiness, my enjoyment of what I'm doing. Now, of course, bringing other people joy and inspiration and being happy within yourself, these things can coexist. They can coexist. You can do both. However, we'll go back to one of the catchphrases that we always use here. Inside, then outside. When you're happy, when you're enjoying what you do, unapologetically, long as you're not violating nobody's free will or respecting folks, when you enjoy doing what you do and you're engaged, we talked about this before, it's not what you do, it's how you do things. I say this sometimes to all my money chasers. I got a lot of money chasers around me sometimes. People that's, all into, stocks and trying to make a flip or get the bag or marketing, trying to brand themselves and trying to get more people to pay attention and get likes, and they want a big audience of folks. Everybody's allowed to do whatever they want to do, wherever their inspiration takes them. However, that thirsty energy, understand something. Any real, enlightened, true, like the truly rich souls amongst planet Earth, they'll tell you, happy makes money. We're talking about sincere happiness. Of course, money is a manifestation of love. It's but an energy frequency. It's just that That energy frequency of resources comes from a place of happiness, fulfillment, satisfaction. Happy makes money. If you're talking about any real money, here's where it's necessary for you to consider the nature of what you're doing, the energy in which you're doing it. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, it's not bringing you any real riches. Because of course you're spending a lot of your time, a very large investment and portion of your day doing something that doesn't cater to the vibration that caters to an inpouring of abundance. I'll say it again. Happy makes money. We've lost sight of that, attempting to chase security. We chase security in fear. You're selling out your happiness for the happiness of others, when in actuality both can coexist. It's just that you come first. You come first. You're the foundation, beloved. Don't nobody want to be around no sad person. That energy's draining. The energy of sadness and thirst and neediness, that's a draining energy. Fellas, women don't like needy energy. Just like customers don't like sad waiters and waitresses. People want to be around happy people, satisfied folks, people who love themselves, who love life, who enjoy doing what they're doing. This has nothing to do with any superficial aspirations. This is about service, true service to oneself, where you can be of service to life in a more aligned fashion. When you're doing what you love to do, it's your own joy. That's the point. That's the point of you doing what you're doing. Because how you feel now is responsible for what happens next. The universe will support souls who do not compromise themselves or their gifts. You have all the support in the world when you actually be yourself, when you're authentic, and you do what you want to do. Do what you want to do, not what other people want to do, not what's going to get you likes and comments and people liking and following your page and all the other kinds of stuff. Doing what you want to do, what brings you joy. When you decide to enjoy your evolutionary process and the creation of your experience now, there's only perfection. That is the secret to what you know as happily ever after.
Yeah, I'm the boss.
A master's position is being able to get up every day and be a student to infinite intelligence.
Yeah, I'm the
Humility. The frequency of surrendering. Humility allows us to take a step back. Now, when we take that step back, of course, it requires a deep level of emotional intelligence and spiritual maturity. Emotional maturity, just take a step back, realizing that we don't know everything. Humility comes in knowing that you're always being supported. You don't do anything by yourself. Even though it may seem you're by yourself, we're always with you, assisting you in everything that you're doing. Of course, we want you to be happy. It's just that when you get too identified with the ego and you feel as if you're doing everything by yourself, you're extremely limited. You're extremely arrogant.
Yeah, I'm the boss.
We say this all the time too. Arrogance is the forerunner of embarrassment. You're setting yourself up for failure, attempting to claim credit for everything, attempting to do it all by yourself. You'll get your taste of humble pie. Supervisors are great at working alone. The big boss, the owners, the CEOs of the company, the visionaries, they work with everybody.
Yeah, I'm the boss.
They know they can't do everything by themselves. It's easy to work by yourself. It's hard to work with a group of people harmoniously. It's harder to work with a group of people. Any businessman can tell you that. Any real businessman can tell you that. Supervisors work alone.
Yeah, I'm the boss.
Bosses work together with people. Get the mission accomplished. It's not about me as an individual. It's what's best for the customer. And listening to your heart is listening to God. Your mama wants you to do this, your daddy wants you to do this, your relatives want you to do this, your sister and your brother and the pastor and the people at the CDC and these folks and these important doctors and all these old people, all them people want you to do all this other stuff.
Yeah, the boss.
And you want to do this. Who are you going to listen to? All them or God?